What's going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. In a world where there are fewer and fewer celebrities that we actually like, largely due to those celebrities just being open and honest about themselves on social media and telling their true thoughts, Jeremy Renner is definitely one of the liked ones. Recently, the story had been going around. Well, let's just let Jeremy tell it, and then we'll continue on from there.
They asked me to do a season two, and they offered me half the money. I'm like, wow, it's going to take me twice the amount of work for half the amount of money, and so 8 months of my time essentially, and to do it for half the amount. I'm like, I'm sorry, why? Did you think I'm only half the Jeremy because I got ran over? Maybe is that what? That's why you want to pay me half of what I made on the first season? And this is not Marvel, mind you. This is like just Disney, not even really Disney.
Now, pause right there because it turns out it might actually be Marvel, but not for the reasons you think. We'll let him continue.
It's just the penny pinchers, the accountants. I told them to go fly a kite. I mean, just at the insult offer, and we didn't see eye to eye on that. And sadly, and I still love the character. I still love to do it, but I had to defend myself. I didn't ask for any more money, mind you, right? It just paid me what I made the first season. So it's a little disheartening that that didn't happen, but that's fine. I'm happy to let that go because my body's probably thanking me, time and time again.
Now, he's also been very open and honest about the struggles that he's had to go through to get back into any form of working shape. Got a great article, or excuse me, got a great podcast on Rogan, and then he has a book out. So, yeah, I could imagine he can do stunts now. But if he's going to go through all that, he wants to make the same, if not more. I would imagine that Disney thought that too, which is what the crux of this whole story coming up is. Not horribly received for all the Disney Plus shows. Hawkeye actually was one of my favorite ones. I know that's not saying much because they were all bad, but he at least was idealized by the Kate Bishop character played by the very attractive Haley Steinfeld, as we've all seen now in Sinners and others. She wasn't a Mary Sue. She'd done some training. And of course, the biggest problem with that was the introduction of Echo. Remember Echo? And Kingpin, and so that's what most people dislike the show for. But Jeremy himself, even though yes, he did take a back seat, he wasn't embarrassed in the show. At least I didn't think. And it's got overall some decent ratings, and at least the Jeremy character, positive word of mouth. So no reason why, if paid the same, he wouldn't have come back. That is where we get to the fact that they do have reason to not have it come back. And that's where we get to this one right here, where apparently they knew very well what they were doing. So previously it was reported that season 2 would be set in a location similar to The Raid, i.e. stuck in one building, pitting the Hawkeyes against Clint's brother, Barney Barton / Trickshot, which has yet to be introduced. But according to both, so this is multiple sources, Jeff Snyder and Puck's Matt Baloney, who's Baloney as far as I'm concerned, Disney and Marvel Studios deliberately made Renner a low ball offer for Hawkeye season 2. According to the former, they were well aware that he would reject being paid half as much money, giving them a reason not to have to make the second season. Baloney going on to say that nobody tell Renner the show attracted middling viewership and costs would have come down across the board for a season 2. That is, if execs weren't lowballing him in the first place so they could pin the cancellation on him, not them. And we've seen many articles now talking from Bob Iger, Brad Winterbaum, the head of television, to even Kevin Feige, talking about how, yeah, we made way too much streaming stuff, Hawkeye probably one of them, and we are drastically reducing. And so now they can say, look, we tried. He said no. This all actually completely tracks with what we've heard more recently about the scaling back and the, as best as we're going to get, them admitting that they messed up the last phase and they just gave up too many products that were mediocre. And now finally they're trying to course correct. So yeah, as pointed out, even though it doesn't have horrible ratings on IMDb, 7.5 out of 10, and it is trending upwards in popularity, probably because of Haley Steinfeld being popular in Sinners. Florence Pugh is now, at least, look, even though the movie's not making money, people that did go to see it seem to like it. And so if you wanted a little bit more Yelena, you got her in there. And then, of course, Jeremy Renner has that book. out, and he's been on Rogan, so there's another content for him. Now nobody's watching it for Echo because no one even remembers Echo existed, huh? But other than that, that's the story. Morning Glory. They offered Jeremy Renner half as much, knowing full well that he wouldn't take it, and then they can say, well, we tried but can't do it, sorry. So yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think that's true? I think that's probably true. Either way, make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And
well, bye.